So here's an argument I've actually heard. Jesse, do you want to bring up Central Scouting's top 10, top 30 prospects?
Okay.
I want to get the top 3 names in the draft this year. Steve, can you name them right now?
Matthews, maybe Line and Pulley.
Yeah.
There's also Kachuk I've heard in there. Jacob Chikrin. Alex Nylander's kind of outside
5th,
that
6th.
top 3 there.
Yeah. Okay. So those are some names. Now let's say all goes right. And on draft day, the Leafs are picking first overall.
Let's assume all goes as it should.
All goes as it should. And the Edmonton Oilers are not.
Oh,
not
we will
picking
get
first.
to you, Oilers.
So the rumor, or the argument I'm hearing, is that signing Stamkos and drafting Austin Matthews is a bad idea. The reason being that Austin Matthews, you probably believe, will be a Steven Stamkos $10 million type player in 3 to 5 years.
That's the hope. That's always the hope when you pick a guy first.
So why would you have a guy that is already making that and then another guy who's on his way up? Is that, and also both, Stamkos wants to play center. We know that. So does Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is 18. Steven Stamkos is 25, 26? I think we're going to give it to Stamkos on that one. But it also creates the too many centers problem, quote unquote problem.
Does it?
That's a problem for people.
Hey, look, I mean, why have Taves when you already have Kane? I mean, why have Keith when you already have Seabrook? Why have Crosby when you already have Malkin? Why have Backstrom when you already have Ovechkin? Should I keep going?
You should keep going.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Good. Thank goodness.
That's what I was thinking. And I think there's still a school of people out there that believe that you need to draft based on position.
Here's a question. Let me throw this out.
Okay.
Do we have Leaf fans, when we're talking about building a good team, have any idea what we're talking about? What the hell do we know? Like, we haven't witnessed one since we were children.
Well, I mean, this was an argument that I was listening to our friend Andrew Walker.
Oh, okay.
This was his argument. He was having the same discussion with Elliot Friedman yesterday.
All right.
And he was of the opinion that maybe it's not a good idea.
I have already said this, but I don't think it's a good idea to get Stamkos, but not for that reason. You can't have too much skill.
Now, why do you think it's not a good idea to get Stamkos?
I think his prime is not going to line up with the Leafs rebuild. And also, if I'm Steven Stamkos, all right, so I broke my leg last year. Rats. I made it to the Stanley Cup final, and I was so close. Then there was all this drama with the Lightning. It looks like we're poised to make another deep run in the playoffs, and I get this stupid blood clot. I'm doing everything I possibly can. I'm doing everything right. I'm shoveling all the disgusting food that Gary Roberts feeds me into my mouth. I'm doing ridiculous box jumps with 900 pounds on a bar on my back. I'm doing everything I can, and still things aren't going my way just because, damn the luck. I am not going to waste my time being part of a rebuild, no matter how much money they give me. I want to win, damn it. They didn't name me to the 2010 Olympic team because I was too young. They didn't name me to the 2014 Olympic team because I broke my leg. I haven't won a Stanley Cup. I want to win something, and I'm not going to do it in Toronto. Not now. Not now.
Well, with Austin Matthews and William Nylander and Connor Brown and Tyler Bozak.
Sure.
And Nazem Kadri.
Sure.
And James Van Riemsdyk.
First line.
I mean, I got to say.
First pairing defenseman, Martin Marincin.
A Stamkos, JVR, and whoever you want to put with them. Matthews, Nylander, Kadri, Bozak. You could put Kadri on the wing. Who cares?
Four first lines. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the point.
That's not a Stanley Cup winning team.
Yeah, the team you just named is going to look sick in 3 years. This is what I'm saying. The Leafs can't be hitting their stride when I, Steven Stamkos, am 30.
Aren't you still in your prime at 30?
You're fading out of it.
You also just wasted 3 years.
And you're coming off a broken leg.
Yeah.
And you're coming off a blood clot. Also, and look, I hope he fully recovers from this blood clot. When's the next one coming? Because isn't that often the case? You get one, and then
Timonen missed almost a year with blood clot.
he had several. Isn't Chris Bosch
Chris
out?
Bosch is out right now with a blood clot. Yeah.
But it's not his first one.
No, because once you get a blood clot, you got to go on blood thinners, and when you're taking blood thinners, you're not allowed to play hockey or any sport.
Okay.
So once you're on those, you gotta
Right, and I guess
chill.
if you're getting them that young, you're probably predisposed to them. I wonder if flying a lot has something to do with that too.
People were saying that. People were also saying the supplements that hockey players take.
That would make sense.
People are not talking about Stamkos' injury and how it impacts his potential of going to the Leafs. To me, if there was any doubt in my mind of going to Toronto, I'm not doing it now. I'm not doing it. I'm not being part of a rebuild. Sorry.
So you think Stamkos wouldn't want to come here?
Yeah, I do.
Now
It breaks my heart to say it, but I don't think it makes sense. Doesn't make sense for him. Doesn't make
let's
a
say
lot
the Leafs,
of sense for the Leafs.
Say the Leafs can get him, but you get Austin Matthews first. Do you put them on the same team together? Or is it ridiculous logic to think that you couldn't have those two players coexist on the same team?
No, I personally, it's not good to have a team that's too good. So what I would probably do is just sell them. I'd sell the team.
Trade him. Just sell the whole team.
Oh, yeah.
Sell the franchise.
If I'm Lou Lamoriello, I resign.
Okay.
All right. Like mid-season too. Like, but we can't pay you your full contract if you resign. No, it's fine. I don't even worry about it.
Okay. All right.
Can't have too much skill, dummies.
So then there's this story that breaks, and I wondered about this story because, and this has nothing to do with the Leafs. We're moving on now. We're moving on to another expiring contract, or will be so in a year.
Ooh.
It's a $7.5 million contract that expires at the end of next season.
What?
But that player could vacate it at the end of this.
Oh.
And the report came out of Russia.
Oh.
However, that player did not deny it. And that player is Pavel Datsyuk.
Pavel
Datsyuk.
The Magic Man.
Now, Pavel Datsyuk is how old?
Old.
And
forget how old he is. His body's old.
Okay, fair. He's got, it's almost Eric Stahl, right? Body's old.
Yeah, his body's old. It's much older than Stahl's. That body's got a lot of hard miles on it. When he plays, he's still Pavel Datsyuk. But he's Bruck. He's missing games every year. He's missing long stretches. And the rumor has been for a while that he's going to go to Russia. The rumor wasn't that he was going to go to Russia next season. But look at the Red Wings. Look at the struggle they're having to make the playoffs right now. How deep is that run really going to be?
Yeah.
Is it going to be better next year? Maybe. They got some young guys. They also got me, Pavel Datsyuk, who's old and Bruck.
Yeah.
He's 37, by the way.
37?
When was the last time Pavel Datsyuk played 70 games in a season?
Oh. Well, it has to be pre-lockout, I think.
Which one?
Pre-first lockout. Or pre-latest, last one with the Leafs.
2013.
Yeah.
2012, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2010.
I'm going to say 2011 then.
2012.
2012. So he's several seasons removed from a 70-game season at 37 years old. How many has he played this year?
63.
60. So that's good.
Yeah, that's a good year for him.
That's good for him. What did he play last?
63. So he's about to pass his total from
Whoa,
last year.
so he's improving is what you're saying. I say you extend him. Yeah, Pavel Datsyuk's... It is kind of nice for Russian players that at the end of their career, or for a lot of European players, at the end of their career, they can go back home and play and continue to make money if they want. Because they're going to be home. It's going to be lovely. They're still going to be making money. They're still going to be playing the game they love. And they're probably good enough to play in that league on account of it's not as good as the NHL.
Right.
Let's call it what it is.
Now, how much of a favor does he do Detroit if he does that? $7.5 million in cap space.
I don't know if the Red Wings are dying to get rid of Pavel Datsyuk.
I don't think they are. But is that $7.5 million?
Jesse just pulled up their general manager. Maybe they are.
Is that
pretty hard
7.5
against that
million
cap.
more? Could they turn that into something potentially more valuable than 60 games?
Want me to ruin a lot of people's day?
Sure.
Pavel Datsyuk leaves your hockey team. Oh my goodness. We need a center. We need a guy who.
I know a guy.
We need a guy who plays center.
I know a guy.
Hey, maybe he could make around 7.5.
Maybe he could. Well, perhaps more than that.
No, a little bit more.
Maybe 9-10.
Maybe 9-10.
He might be a 9-10 guy.
Well, it's okay.
With a blood clot,
It's
though?
okay. Brad Richards, he's making $3 million this year, and it turns out he's a UFA at 35.
So there's your 10.5.
That's 10.
There we made it. Tampa's got this guy, and their GM happens to be a legendary player of ours. You want to get your tire kicking shoes on and take a look at this Stamkos kid?
Funny thing about their GM too, I believe he also trained under our current, not our current, but if we're Detroit,
Our management group.
Yeah,
Oh.
I do believe that there was a relationship there.
Funny.
Funny.
How far is Detroit from Toronto?
4 hours?
Not that far.
No, you could probably drive home to see your family or just take a quick flight.
I get to stay in the same division.
Yeah.
So let me throw that out there and ruin all your day.
And you don't have to pay as much in the way of taxes. And housing is a hell of a lot cheaper in Detroit than it is here. Even Ann Arbor.
Buy a house for $1.
Hey, kid, you want enough money to buy Detroit?
Literally buy an entire neighborhood in Detroit.
I'm just going to throw it out there. If Pavel Datsyuk leaves, there's potential. All of a sudden, okay. In a cap era, with a player that's going to command what Steven Stamkos is going to ask for, you have to just throw every team with the actual amount of cap space into the mix. You have to, because there's not that many.
Right.
And then you take out the teams that can't actually spend that much. So, okay, like the Coyotes are out, the Ducks are out, the Sens are out. Who's left? The teams that have money and space. Not many available.
But that's I mean,
many out there.
and the other thing is, the teams that have money and space are the teams that are probably not as good. Which, if your theory is correct about Stamkos, Steve, why would he even leave Tampa?
Detroit's not bad this year. Maybe you could go
Are they
there.
a Stamkos away from being a 3-4 team rather than a 7-8 team?
Maybe.
Can we talk about how 35-year-old Henrik Zetterberg makes $6 million next year, the year after, and the year after? Oh no, UFA 2021.
Whoa!
He's got one of those
Whoa.
ridiculous outlawed deals now.
Holy!
Now, by the way, let's take a look at. Oh, interesting. Here's why those deals might be outlawed nowadays. This year, Zetterberg makes $7.5 million. Next year, he makes 7.5. The year after, 7. Oh, took a little bit of a discount. What about the next year?
1.
3.35. Then 1.
So he'll be retiring in 3 years at 39.
Or just playing hockey for fun for a couple $1 million.
I mean, I would make my 21 million, and then I would say, okay, you keep that 4. Don't worry, it's on, or 5. It's on the house.
Mike Green also makes a good chunk of change there.
Whoa! He makes $6 million? I thought he made 3.
There you go.
Right-handed defenseman. Drugs are bad. Holy smokes. You know what, though? Adam did kind of throw water on my whole plan by using my own logic, which is, what are the Red Wings going to be without Pavel Datsyuk?
Well, what are they going to be with Steven Stamkos? Are they going to be that much better?
Could be.
Well, you're replacing a center with a better center.
Yes, but how much better?
How
Much better? I mean, no. Honestly, points per game, how much better?
While Jesse's looking that up, let me throw out something ruthless, okay? Because it is a
You going
ruthless.
to be Sav?
Well, it's a ruthless business. Does this kind of ailment that Stamkos has hurt what he's going to make? I'm going to go with probably.
It may. It will give teams, especially that money that he wants, and probably rightly deserves, is going to give teams pause. It just is. That's a lot of money, and it's going to be a lot of term. You're talking about locking this guy up from 25 to 35 years old.
Yep.
right? $100 million contract. Not out of the realm of possibilities. 10 years.
At least, I'm going to go with it like a steal would be like a $75 million contract.
Boy. Yeah, that would be a steal.
But the reason I brought that up is I caught myself before I said something. Well, the thing with Datsuk is, Stamkos is going to play more. I don't know that.
Are you getting a better player at 70 games a season?
I don't know that. I'm getting a different kind of player for sure. I'm getting an offensive juggernaut as opposed to one of the best two-way players to play the game in the last 10 years. I'm just going to throw Detroit in there because why the hell not? Let's have some fun. Woo!
Never discount Ken Holland from anything.
I've been ripping on the Canucks and Oilers for too long. Let's ruin the lives of Red Wings fans. Woo!
And with that, we're going to go to the off-air portion of the podcast.
Are we going to yell and scream about the Oilers again?
I don't know. Should we? Because I was going to yell and scream about the Islanders.
Oh, let's scream about all the blue and orange teams.
Okay, so it's Sportsnet 590 The Fan. This podcast is brought to you by Panago Pizza. It is what's on the inside that counts, and you can download us at sportsnet.ca. Subscribe to the Steve Dangle podcast on iTunes, and we'll see you Thursday night.
Thursday.
I remember reading an article from the New York Post, which made, when I brought it up on this show, Islanders fans really mad. Because it's the New York Post. And in it was suggested that potentially a guy like John Tavares may not want to stay a New York Islander. He's up in a couple years. He may want to go home to Toronto, is what the article insinuated.
Well, they can always just sign Steven Stamkos and replace him.
Right.
Exactly. And Adam, look, you can't get mad at Islanders fans by being hurt by the truth. We got to talk about how, there's stages of grief, my friend. You need to have some compassion.
Fair. Fair. It's true.
It often begins with denial. So let's just let them go through everything they need to go through to make peace with the fact that John Tavares is going to lead the Leafs to glory one day.
That's right. With Steven Stamkos and Austin Matthews.
Absolutely. And the Tooth Fairy.
The reason that it was suggested that this player may want to vacate his team in one of the best cities on earth where you can have so much fun if you're a millionaire. I mean, why would anybody want to leave? New Yorkers are not used to players wanting to leave.
Well, you'd have to ask Travis Hamonic, but... Yeah.
Right. Now, it was insinuated that because the arena that they're playing in and the arena that they're practicing in are on opposite ends of the earth, that certain players might find that in New York traffic a little bit inconvenient. A lot inconvenient, actually. And that the Islanders had no plans to change that. Zero. Now, that would make me a little mad. That'd make me a little mad if I'm a player and if I'm a bit of a spoiled millionaire. And so what? So what? I'm spoiled. I earned it, right? I went to hockey at 6 a.m. and 5 a.m. and whatever for my entire childhood just so I can get here. So damn it, I'm making my millions. Then it comes out last week that the team was almost not able to play because the ice conditions at Barclays are so bad.
And Kyle Okposo, I believe pending free agent Kyle Okposo, spoke out about that ice.
What did he say?
He said it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad slushy ice there he was playing on. In what was that city?
That would be Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. And interestingly, too, there is an arena deal there that may fall apart.
Pending UFA Kyle Okposo?
There are rumors of this deal falling apart.
Oh, heavens, Adam.
I am just wondering.
But they have a perfectly good arena. Well, shouldn't they be happy with this slushy, blocked view ice arena?
80% of the arena can see everything.
10 to 80%.
10 to 80%. You're right.
All of those other people are going to miss Jesus scoring the game-winning goal.
John Tavares and anybody that plays for the Islanders must be going, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this was... I mean, for a team that rebuilt so well, I'm actually surprised. But it is so very Islanders, the way this has all turned out. Because they kind of fly by the seat of their pants. It's like, we're going to go to war, but we're not going to bring any weapons with us. And we're just going to hope we can pick up some things when we're there.
Adam brings up a question that I haven't asked out loud, but I've always just kind of wondered. And it first popped up in my head a few years ago. which was, when did the New York Islanders stop being the New York Islanders? They were a joke for a very long time. Oh, you cheat for me. Okay, look. My shitty team does not excuse your shitty team.
No, your team's still shitty.
Everybody who tweeted me about the Oilers recently. Okay.
Oilers fans are getting on their soapbox about, really?
Oh, because I tweeted about how bad the Oilers are. You're a Leafs fan. Yes, and I know shittiness. So do you.
Yeah. Shit recognize shit, man.
Shit, yeah.
Game recognize game.
Shit recognize shit. That's amazing. That is amazing. But it's true. They were a travesty. They were a joke for so long. How do you think John Tavares got there in the first place? Or Okposo, or DeHaan, or Josh Bailey, or any other first-round pick that team has? Griffin Reinhart at 4th overall. You know, that team was so bad for so long. When did they stop being that? Jack Capuano was there when they were bad. You know, like, not a whole lot about this team changed it, except I guess they got younger, or the young guys got older, is what I should say.
Yeah.
It's so strange. But now, our Islanders showing a little bit.
They're still paying Rick DiPietro.
Well,
wow.
I mean, they're gonna, until, you know what? This podcast may be done.
It's 1.5 till 2019.
Yeah, we might be dead.
Oh, it's only by 2019?
It's no 2029. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
my
2029.
goodness.
That's a couple years before Mike Richards stops getting paid by the Kings, I believe. Isn't it till 31?
My car will be a thing of the past by the time that thing's paid off.
You'll be 5 cars ahead of where you're at right
yeah,
now.
I have a 2011 vehicle.
Yeah.
And that car will be
every 3 to 4 years you get a new one.
Cube of metal by the time.
Yeah. Not every 3 to 4 years everybody gets a new one. I know, before you angry tweet me. I'm just saying leases.
We're not all buying
cars.
Teslas tomorrow?
No, we're not.
Damn it.
Sorry.
No, Jesse, next week.
Oh, my bad.
So,
Panago Teslas.
yes, I like it.
Powered by pizza.
Powered by pizza. I dig it. So the Islanders have got some fixing, right? To do, right? Because if the big players want to go, then they're not going to be able to get any more big players, and then they're going to get bad again.
Do they figure this out?
I hope so.
Do the Islanders figure this out?
Where do they get an arena?
You know, you are forgetting a key factor here.
What's that?
That a lot of people forget. I know a guy who grew up an Islanders fan, an influential guy, a guy who can maybe help things go right. G-Baby, your boy.
Who?
Gary Bettman.
The cow.
He grew up an Islanders fan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, Gary's been known to fix problems.
I think the Islanders, as much as I like to tease them, I think they're going to be just fine.
Well, they got the Bettman aura. They've got the Arizona Coyotes protection zone.
Not to mention, if he was never an Islanders fan, it's probably in your best interest to protect a team in New York.
I would say so.
Just going to throw that out.
Right. Even if they can't protect themselves from themselves. You wanted to say something about the Oilers?
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to make a video about this, but the Oilers, it's when did the Islanders stop being the Islanders? When are the Oilers ever going to stop being the Oilers? Okay. They had, I think it was, they had Ralph Kruger, and they didn't like how the team performed. So they fired him. So they bring in Dallas.
His era was over.
His era was over. And
Done
he was
for the season.
done with the Oilers. He coached his last game with that team. And then they brought in Dallas Eakins to start the Dallas Eakins era. And then they finished last, and he was done. So they fired him.
And he got water sprayed on him, too.
He got water sprayed on him, too, by Taylor Hall, and he was all pissed off about it. He was done with Taylor Hall.
His patience was over.
Water was the last thing he wanted to get on his jacket. So they bring in Todd Nelson, I think.
Yep. Oh, that's right. Todd Nelson. Yeah.
But by then, the Oilers were done with losing, and they wanted to bring in a new era. And they were sick of finishing last.
And the losing ways were over.
And they were over. So they bring in the Tom McClellan era. Because they were done with losing, and here they are last again. Turns out their struggles are not over. The Oilers are not. They're not about to fire Todd McLellan.
No.
No.
No. This is one of the few coaching situations in the NHL where the coach is for sure not getting fired, and it's the right decision. So what happens now?
I believe it is time to start firing the team.
The Oilers are going to go kablooey this year, and I don't think it can be understated. Oh yeah, Yakupov is going to get traded. Everyone saw that coming. No, guys. They're going to go kablooey. I think it could happen. I mean, it's not like it would be the first time that Peter Chiarelli has traded away young talent.
What are the things that you look at in people, just in general, when things start going wrong? You replace one person on a team, you replace another person on a team, and same things continue to go wrong. The people left over are kind of the common denominator, right? And you look at the Leafs in the past. The common denominator, management.
Well, this is the hard thing.
The Oilers, for this entire stretch they've been bad. I mean, especially the last 5 years, there have been guys that have been there the entire time. They are now the common denominator.
Let's look at Jordan Eberle.
Yep. Jordan
Eberle could be a guy that's kind of like Nazem Kadri, in that he's been a good player on the Oilers since 2009, I think. But the Oilers have been shit the whole time. So you just associate being shit with him. I think a lot of Leaf fans do with Kadri, rightly or wrongly. But he's a name that has been brought up many times as a guy who could leave town. I think Jordan Eberle might be done. Or maybe it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
I don't know how it's not Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Why don't you? Why?
I have been on this.
Because McDavid?
Well, you've got McDavid and you've got Hall. And I know Nuge is awesome. I get that.
Hall's not a center, though.
But if you're, okay,
he
fine.
has played center, but meh.
But he's been playing really well with McDavid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like nothing against Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think he's a great player. When you look at the Oilers roster, if you're going to trade someone, you need value. Who's valuable? Yakupov's value is diminished. What do you get for him?
You're not going to get a whole lot for Yak.
But you can get Nuge, who's making $6 million for the next 4 years, which to any team looks attractive. Heck, the Leafs, that looks attractive if you could get him.
That's a great example of inflation and value changing. $6 million was a lot of money, to give your number one center a few years ago. I'd say Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at $6 million. Yeah, that's a catch. That's a pretty good deal.
I think he gets traded.
Now, he's valuable because he's good. Mm-hmm. It's like all the Leaf fans screaming, imagine what you could get for JVR. Well, yeah, but then you got to replace JVR. Like, there's a reason his value is high. It's because he's a good player to have. Imagine what the Habs could get for Pacioretty at that contract. Well, then they got to replace Pacioretty. You know what I mean?
True.
I don't think anyone's safe. There was a report today that Hall is close to untouchable. I think the only untouchable is Connor McDavid. And after that, have fun. I mean, I don't think they're going to trade Draisaitl. That doesn't make too much sense. Hall might go. Nuge might go. Eberle might go. Yak might go. I think at least two of the names I just said are going to go.
Mm-hmm. And I would think Yak and Eberle are likely the two most likely to go.
That, to me, makes the most sense, but you're talking about probably the two guys out of all the names I just mentioned with the least value.
Yeah.
Eberle's making a lot of money for a winger who hasn't... He's produced all right in this league, but he hasn't done a whole lot in this league. And then there's Yak. Is that kablooey or is that just deck chairs? Hold on to your butts, kids. The Oilers are going to get entertaining. And they want to make a splash before they go into their new arena, I think. And, I mean, McDavid is that splash.
Would you say Cates is opening the gates?
Oh, my goodness. Hopefully,
before they step into a new era.
Yes. Their time at Rexall is over.
They're done.
This upcoming game is their second last. Or no. The game they just lost was their second last, I think, at Rexall. But their next one, it's going to be their last. Maybe they start their new era with Austin Matthews.
Shut up.
You're right.
SkateToGreat.org. Yeah. If you want to, if you've got any extra hockey gear lying around the house, it goes to kids who can use it, especially skates, especially right now. They are looking for skates. So SkateToGreat.org, if you can donate, there's 100 donation centers across the country. Also, you can text to donate, Dangle to 41010, make a $5, $10, or $20 donation. Now, Jesse, do we have a NHL in-game promotion of the week?
We do not.
Oh, what do we have?
We have nothing.
Press
actually.
conference then, shall we?
We can do a little trivia, actually. Ooh. Who's the last, I still have this open, who's the last Jack Adams Award winner to also win the Stanley Cup?
Oh, damn.
Well, not Alain Vigneault.
There's only been 3 in the history of time.
Can you give us a year?
No.
No, I guess that wouldn't be
then you'll
fair.
know.
Yeah.
Would it be our boy Babby Cockman?
I think I know the answer.
2008? Was it 2008? Detroit one?
He did not win the Jack Adams Award.
I don't think he's ever won.
Oh.
No.
He's the Drew Doughty.
Quenneville and Babcock have never won the Jack Adams.
Their
Quenneville
teams have been
did
too
win.
good.
Their teams have been too good.
Quenneville did. 2009.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or-
okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
1999.
Okay, but
We'll say it
Blackhawks
was.
Joe Quenneville.
Right.
Joel Quenneville.
No, you're right.
That's ridiculous. I think the answer is going to be coaching against the Leafs on Wednesday night. I think the answer is John Tortorella, 2004. I might be wrong.
Probably right.
Steve Dangle, everyone.
Hey! Well done, Steven. Well done.
do have something, actually.
Okay.
Is it about how I definitely cheated on the
It
Fanouf
is
thing?
about how Steve Dangle cheated on the last game we played.
I didn't know. I forgot.
You did know.
I felt really good about
Thanks.
myself.
Thanks, Lance. Appreciate that. That's cool.
What was I on? I was on my blog talking about the Leafs. Sorry, you're right.
How did he cheat?
Steve, on the day they announced the Ottawa Senators were doing their 50% off Fanouf jersey if you trade in a Leafs one, Steve tweeted, "Get swept away in a sea of savings."
That wasn't the same day.
It was
It's like a month before.
no, a link to the tweet the Senators had tweeted. So it was the day they tweeted it.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
No, but
That's wrong. I
but-
definitely saw it, but it wasn't that day.
No,
Let me see this.
Well, fine.
I love that Steve's like, well, it's wrong.
That's from February 10th.
Yeah, that's when you tweeted it.
Oh yeah, no, that's when I tweeted it, but that's
yeah,
not.
so that's when the Sens had
you made
announced.
it sound like I saw that tweet, and then that day we came and recorded the podcast, and I was like, I got this.
I meant the day the Sens announced the promo.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Now,
Sorry.
now I am willing to bet 1,000% that Steve does not remember tweeting that.
Oh, Steve doesn't remember what we talked about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I don't think I really don't think that Steve. I wouldn't even classify that as cheating.
Look, enough
That's
about
like
this.
you know what I mean? Because like I know he forgot. Remember,
about
this is the
this
guy
story.
that went to the Rico when the ticket said Air Canada.
Enough about this story. Let's talk about the Islanders for a change. Okay? So, a bunch of their players want to leave.
That's right. The ice surface isn't good.
So your win is rescinded. You took
I know.
you took steroids.
But you got
in 100
Tortorella
meter.
today, so that's okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're more like a Maria Sharapova. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Didn't know it was a banned substance. I've been taking it since I was 14 or whatever it was.
Holy smokes.
No, I don't know if it was 14, but she's been taking it for a while. Anyway, let's get into the press conference.
We should also note, sorry, before we keep delaying
Let's
the
just
press
keep
conference.
delaying the fucking press conference.
Before we keep delaying the press conference.
We're in it already.
No, I didn't play the music. Vancouver won 3 games in a row for San Jose, LA, and Anaheim because they are Vancouver.
Though they walk through the valley of the shadow of death, they shall fear no Matthews. They just completely screwed their way out of that 30th spot.
God bless the Vancouver Canucks.
Bless them.
73 points.
Watch them still win.
More loose things we got to address. Adam topless on our Reddit page. That is our new Reddit cover. Adam's standing
I'm
with
topless a
Kim
lot. Oh,
Kardashian.
hey.
Adam's just always topless, though. That's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
So thank you for changing that Reddit.
Thank you. So they changed it for us?
Yeah, they do that. We don't touch it. Adam,
That's the inmates running that asylum.
Are you going to announce the press conference or not?
Yeah, it's a press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
First question. If you performed an early 90s love ballad called I'd Do Anything for the Cup, but I Won't Do That, what would that be?
There's so many answers. I do anything for the cup, but I won't do that. Steve, you okay?
Yeah, I just thought of...
Steve just gagged in his...
That was
I
kinda
thought he was
gross.
being sick. What happened there? Steve literally just gagged.
I was thinking about what if you like diced up a green pepper and you had to eat it with a spoon like it was ice cream?
Oh my god.
I was thinking more like I wouldn't eat dog poo. like I wouldn't eat dog
That
poo in
too.
the cup. I wouldn't do that.
No, same.
Some of Iggy's dog poo in your mouth.
It's funny. I was going to say, no, I could see myself eating that before a pepper, and then I thought about it. And no, I couldn't.
you couldn't.
No, I had to pick
See,
some
there's
of
so
that
many
up today.
potential answers. It's almost like not fun because there's like, you know what I mean? Like it's such a wide thing that you could literally say so many things. Like I would not have a shark bite me for the Stanley Cup. If the choice
But like,
is
how bad is the shark bite?
Yeah.
so most shark bites aren't that bad.
Would you
Most
cut
shark
off
bites,
your
they
leg if the Leafs won the cup next year?
No.
Why
Come
not?
on.
No.
One leg.
Because they can win it without me taking off my leg.
Can they?
But
Probably not, but I don't care. I like my leg. I like my appendages attached.
Adam likes his leg. Okay. Geez, we might have to come back to that one.
okay.
Or look at what the Reddit page says.
How do you feel about corporate logos on NHL jerseys? Start looking like European hockey teams
Okay, look, when it gets to that point,
or a NASCAR driving around the ice.
yeah, when it gets to that point, I think it'll look gross. But the fact of the matter is it's a revenue stream for a league that's dying for it. So let's stop pretending like these jerseys are sacred. Go look at the Islanders jerseys from the late 90s.
Not sacred. With
not
the guy with the
sacred.
raincoat on them?
If you
The
change
Brett
your,
Lindros era?
Yes, if you change your jersey every 3 years, it's not sacred.
No.
The logo's sacred, but they're not going to put, a giant Coke sign in the middle of the leaf.
I think that there are many other things the NHL can do before that is a good option. And I say this knowing full well that the NHL has totally messed up NHL.com. However, there are so many digital options for them out there because their content is so valuable to fans. And broadcasters are paying them to rebroadcast the content that's truly belonging to the NHL. I believe personally that there are ways that you can make money through that rather than put it on the jerseys. As soon as you do that,
What if it's
you
just
have
like a little thing?
taken yourself down a notch because it's a big story and baseball's not going to do it and football's not going to do it and basketball's not going to do it. And if you want to consider yourself one of the top sports in North America, you can't do it. There are certain things that you have to just draw a line in the sand, and I think this is one of them.
I used to think Manchester United were called the Vodaphones. Like, okay, let's
True. You know what? And that's a really good point. Cricket's the same. And you've got cricket franchises that have been, 150, 200 years old? Like,
Very
it's... But I think that there's I think in North America is just a different way of looking at it.
Well, North America needs to get over itself because
North America does need to get over itself in a lot of ways. You're right. I don't know.
just saying,
If the CFL's not doing it, do you really need to do it?
aren't they? The CFL has a $2 million salary cap. Last I checked, which was a number of years ago.
When you've got 60 players on your team.
Yeah, their salary cap is less than what Robidon makes to not play.
Right.
It's just
He
not
could
the same.
fund a CFL team for a year and a half. That's amazing.
He could.
He could. Okay.
He could bankroll.
All right.
I lost my question.
shoot.
Opinions on WrestleMania.
Sucked. Did you watch it?
No.
Did you watch it?
Nope.
Sucked.
You know what was really good that night? 60 Minutes.
Did you watch
Really,
60
yeah,
Minutes? on
absolutely. I
that?
watched
What
60
happened
Minutes
on
every
60
Sunday.
Minutes?
What's that?
What happened that Sunday?
They were talking about... You don't watch 60 Minutes? 60 Minutes is amazing.
Steve, do you watch 60 Minutes every Sunday?
No.
They were talking about...
What is this?
They were talking. You're gonna laugh at me here. They were talking about a guy who has literally changed the face of ballet. I'm not even kidding. That was a story on 60 Minutes.
There's a reason I don't watch 60 Minutes.
We need to get George Stroumboulopoulos on this podcast so
Why?
bad because I think him and Adam would get along so well. Have I ever talked about George on this podcast at all?
Well, a little bit from time to time.
But like when I was working next to him during the playoffs,
No, why?
like he'll just randomly get up at some point. He'll just randomly get up. He would walk over to me and Sophia and our super producer Amanda and just be like, "You guys ever been to Germany?" We're like, "What? You guys ever been to Germany?" No. Have you been to Germany? Yeah, I've been to Germany. And then like he'll just start telling me
And
about
a great
Germany.
story about Germany.
And you're just like, so I was watching this thing about ballet.
Well, and they also had this great story on German prisons, speaking of Germany, and how they're overhauling German prisons. And the point of German prisons is now not for retribution, but rehabilitation.
Interesting.
Cool, man.
Fascinating.
Guys, worldliness. I'm sorry that I did not watch Guys in Spandex.
We were on our way back. We were on our way back from the Winter Classic. And
I can't wait to hear this, actually.
And we're all like, I'm having, I think it was like calamari and stuff. Some guy's got wings. He's got steamed rice and broccoli, George. He's sitting on the end. We're all just talking. We're talking. He's being quiet. And I'm like, there's something coming. And he just goes, do you guys ever work at an airport? Like Nick, I'm sitting next to Nick Kiprios. Like, no, he hasn't.
No, I don't think he has. No. You guys ever worked at an airport?
He goes, you guys ever worked at an airport?
No, George.
No. Have you? Yeah, I used to work. Oh my God. We got to get him on.
All right.
We got to get him on. That's you, though.
Well, George is far more cultured than I could ever hope to be.
You guys ever work at Shoppers Drug Mart?
Yeah, I could say
No.
that.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't even remember what we were just talking
Anyway, I was watching 60 Minutes over
Oh, there it
WrestleMania. Okay, and anybody else, can you back me up on that? If you were also watching 60 Minutes over WrestleMania and enjoyed the fine programming that CBS puts on a Sunday night, at least for 1 hour.
about. I missed the first match I saw was Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. It's, you know what? You know what I noticed about wrestling from when I used to watch it all the time? It's slow. It's really slow, like really slow pace nowadays. The most exciting fight was probably the three-way women's championship. That like had like the most high-flying talent. And then the whole Shane McMahon Undertaker match was just, all right, when's he going to jump off something? Like you could just tell these guys were going to go at a painfully slow pace the whole time, just leading up to Shane jumping off of the cell. We all knew he was going to jump off the Hell in a Cell. And then he finally did it, and it was great. And then it went downhill from there. The stupid Andre the Giant Memorial Rumble thing, and then Triple H versus Roman Reigns, the match nobody wanted. And then they brought out Stone Cold, and I had to see his gut and get all sad.
I regret asking this question.
Why?
I think everybody wanted to hear about your wrestling opinions.
I think they did.
I think Steve gave them. And I believe
We got a lot of positive feedback last time, Jesse.
I am better for it because I know about the guy that changed the face of ballet and made it important to millennials. Okay? Now I know, and you guys don't.
You guys ever watch 60 Minutes? I think he would be a riot.
No, do you?
I think
Oh, he'd be
a
great.
riot.
He'd be great.
The only problem is he's George Stroumboulopoulos and he's got like a ridiculous schedule.
Yeah.
He said he'd do it. He might have. I think he was just humoring me.
Do we have another
Next question, yeah.
Okay.
What do you think of the NFL showing games on Twitter?
I think it's cool.
That just broke today, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Now I wonder about that, and I don't want to get too businessy, but is it worldwide or is it outside of the States?
It is
they
across
geoblock
every
it.
country. Twitter is available.
Okay, so
the entire world.
so they're going to take, let's say it's an NBC game. But because it can be Fox, it can be NBC, I believe CBS has them too.
It is CBS and NBC who own the rights to Thursday night games.
Okay, so what that does...
So it's just Thursday.
Yes, just the Thursday game.
Here's the problem the television stations are facing right now. It's people watching the games not on TV. But what Twitter can give you is the numbers that you miss when you're not watching on TV, because for some strange reasons, the broadcast rating systems have not caught up with the present day. So anybody that watches on a digital stream doesn't count. And that's why you're seeing TV audiences shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink.
That was dumb 10 years ago.
Yeah. And it's still,
imagine how dumb it is now.
It hasn't changed. And for some reason, and by the way, the broadcasters pay the rating system to rate them. And for some reason, they can't get Arbitron or whatever they're called now to change. So, or at least that was the case until very recently. So what this does, Twitter can directly track who's watching by name, what their demographic is, where they're coming from, how many are there.
And I still want to know how accurate it is. Oh, look.
I think it's pretty accurate.
Oh, look. Steve Glynn is watching this game.
White Egg from Minneapolis is watching this game.
Yeah, Wet Fart 19.
No, but I mean White Egg picture.
Oh, I got
Sorry.
you. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I cut you off. Make your good point.
I just think that now, CBS can go.
Talking about farts.
CBS is awesome.
Wet Fart 19.
Is like awesome because now we can take the digital and the on air and we can put it together and bang, we got our numbers back. And I think it's the right thing to do. When you got a marquee event like that, the NFL is, especially in the States, a big deal. It's a big deal in my house. You want to have every platform available. You want to make it easy, Steve, like you've always said, make it easy for people to consume that content. So I believe all they'll have to do is go onto Twitter and watch. I don't think there's a membership. I don't think there's anything complicated about it. It's go on, click, watch.
I hope so.
And and the great thing is that they always talk about the second screen stuff. So they're like, well, we got to get eyes away from the second screen because people have their laptops open while they're watching TV. Well, now it's on the damn second screen. Now the screen is split.
Got to get eyes away from the second screen.
Which is the wrong way to look at it. You want to have eyes on both.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But now it's better. It's better.
Yes, they are finally coming to their senses.
Right.
It seems.
So I'm
Never
excited
give the
for this.
NFL too much credit.
When does everybody else
No,
catch
I
up?
give them credit when they're really good at making money, man. They are so good at making money. And by the way,
fair enough.
These negotiations were so contentious and the money so high that was thrown around that Twitter beat out Facebook, which pulled out over a week ago because the price was too high, Amazon, and Verizon. This may save Twitter because Twitter has had an issue getting people to sign up for Twitter. This will get people to sign up for Twitter.
Holy mackerel. It's a TV station.
Yeah.
It became a TV station.
It became
overnight.
a TV station. And what a perfect platform for that. Because you can instantly live comment. There's instant feedback.
Wowzers.
Yeah. Jack Dorsey, man, I'm telling you. Don't count him out. The guy created it. He's back. He's firing now. He's going to pay a lot of money for these rights, but damn.
What sucks, though, is if this fails, people are going to go, see, it doesn't work. And it's going to set the whole damn thing back.
Do you know how much? Last year, Yahoo showed the Bills-Jacksonville game in London. They showed it on their website. You could live stream it for free across the world. How much did they pay for that one game to the NFL?
Who are the two teams?
Bills and Jacksonville from London.
10 million? 10 million?
To stream on Yahoo. That's your guess? $10 million?
10 million? For one game. It's Bills and Jacksonville, two bottom-feeding, terrible, shitty franchises. Yeah. And by the way, Bills fans, I know there's a lot in this area. The Bills suck. The Bills really suck, okay?
They've literally never won a championship.
Bills suck.
I think Adam's on the right track, so I'll say $12 million.
They paid $20 million.
Woo! Wow! I was going to say 15.
All right. So for every Thursday night game, is there one or two marquee matchups on Thursdays? Is it normally one?
There's one game every Thursday.
So you got 16 weeks times, let's say it started at 20, and then you were bidding with Amazon, Verizon, and Facebook for it. So what if it's 30? What if it's 35 million?
Are we going to see Twitter ads in these broadcasts?
So they're going to be streaming
ads for Twitter.
They're going to be streaming the commercials from the network. So whatever CBS is showing, but then the local spots, because they'll have local broadcasts in between, local commercials inside the
so if you're watching from Canton,
so
you'll get your local spots.
So Twitter can sell those ads. Those ones that would normally go to a local broadcast, Twitter can sell those ones.
Well, that's going to be incredibly lucrative.
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, who wants to make money with me?
Could be very good. All these damn sports deals are such a high risk, high reward.
Well, the deal I'm watching most closely right now is the one that's about to kick in with the NBA. I think that TV deal is interesting because it is astronomical money. And I think that ESPN's going to have, and they already have, ESPN quietly already has a bit of a revenue issue. Already is not performing well.
Oh.
And now they're going to put all this money into the NBA, and the salary's going to go through the roof in the NBA in this next free agency and the next two. Players are going to go from making $20 million to $35 million. Like, it's that big. Yeah, LeBron will make $35 million when he opts out, right? Mm-hmm. He's opting out in a year or two.
Whatever Max is.
Yeah, Max will be $35 million. So Durant's waiting another year because after this year, it'll be $35 million. After this coming year, sorry. So that we've got that going on. And ESPN is a traditional broadcaster. And traditional broadcasters traditionally have been hesitant to make anything available other than their own locally owned platforms. The problem is that their platforms are usually a little clunky and maybe not as well done as, say, a Facebook or a Twitter video, right? Or a YouTube. So now I wonder if ESPN doesn't think, a couple NBA games on Twitter might not hurt. Our Christmas Day games, which the NBA is famous for.
Mm-hmm. Now,
the NBA Finals, the Final Four for the NCAA.
Something I've said before is innovation should come from like the people who need it. You know what I mean? Like I was so stoked to see the Leafs doing things that teams with not a lot of money usually do, which is like hiring young. Why isn't the NHL all over this? I mean, I'm sure there's something in the way of it, but how is it the NFL that's gotten to this first?
They're partnering with Friendster, actually.
MySpace.
We're going to deal with MySpace.
Rupert Murdoch at a press conference tomorrow.
You'll be able to watch 30% of each game.
Remember when Justin Timberlake...
Only the beginning.
Yeah, only the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Remember when Justin Timberlake really briefly tried to bring back MySpace and we were all like, no.
He put a lot of money into it, too. It was like, I think it was it 10, 15 million?
Like, and it was a lot. With the dude from Napster.
Sean Parker.
Yeah.
Really?
The guy he played
in a movie?
In a movie. I don't know where they thought the market was.
That's some bad advice.
Yeah, it was bad market.
That's some bad advice.
If I were them, I would have taken that money and put it into Spotify.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Not MySpace.
There was no viable business there. It was over.
Here, I'm going to freak you out. You know how many people listening to this podcast right now don't actually know what we're talking about?
Never had a MySpace page.
Did I ever tell you, I was talking to a high school once. I was talking to a class at a high school. And I go, who here remembers Napster? Not a single hand raised.
Wow.
Until after a few awkward silent seconds, someone raised their hand and go, is that the thing from the Facebook movie?
Wow.
And I was just like, holy shit.
Is that the Jesse Eisenberg thing?
Damn. Irrelevant. I had, wow.
So they wouldn't remember Kazaa or LimeWire.
No, Kazaa is like, yeah.
Would they remember?
My brother downloaded a Busta Rhymes music video on that one time.
ICQ?
I didn't have ICQ, but all my friends did.
Messenger? MSN Messenger?
I had MSN.
No, but would they remember that?
No.
No.
Damn, son. Damn.
No, and then in a few years, Snapchat will be like, "Okay, Grandpa."
Remember when we got on Twitter and you couldn't actually view an image without going to like twitpic.com or something like that? So you'd have to go to a completely different freaking window.
Y-Frog.
I remember that.
Y-Frog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when people used to use
that era is done.
Adam just talked about Y-Frog like it's Yellow Card. I remember that's the band with the fiddle. Yeah. If I can find you now. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Same era.
People didn't even tweet like how they tweet now. People used to be like, "Hey, eating salad," and that was it.
I saw a few of my old Facebook statuses, and they would begin with like, "Is playing video games."
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Say Steve Dangle is on. Yeah.
Playing video games. Merkin noobs at Chell. I got relegated to Div 4, by the way.
By the way,
I'm pretty just devastated.
Some of the guys I work with on Breakfast Television are Div 1 guys. And one of the guys...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, one of the guys...
Not fair.
One of the guys I know,
God.
to get back, he was in Div 1 in November and got booted. So to get back into Div 1, he had to win Div 2. He just won the championship thing in Div 2. He's that good. And I said, Steve, like, his name is Steve Massey. He's a really nice guy. And I said, okay, so Steve, like,
tell him to teach me.
What happens when you go to Div 1? And he said, the only thing that happens in Div 1, he's like, the only thing that's different is you are trying not to get kicked out of Div 1.
You just fight and
You
claw.
only play to not get kicked out. Because literally, there's nothing else. What else is there to accomplish?
Okay, how many hours does he play?
I don't know. You know what? That's a good question. I haven't gone that far with him, but he's damn good.
I get invitations and requests to play games with people all the time, and I never take them because I'm just trying so hard to move up. I think I should just start playing those people and just accept the Div 4 piece of shit that I am.
Wow, you're depressed,
How many goals did you score on Saturday, Steve?
When we played
Listen,
NHL,
motherfucker.
we teamed up again.
keeping our team alive.
Were you though?
I was sending good feeds.
Jesse and I set up.
Me and Adam.
Yeah, we were pretty good.
The stars
We're a
on
pretty
the
good team.
I play defense most of the time. You know what? Fuck you guys.
It's funny because I was center in the first game, and I should be the worst because all I do is play shooters.
You know what? Did we win any of those games? Did we win any of them?
And so
no. You're just celebrating like Matt Duchene. You know what? Patrick Waugh was right.
I think Adam's face-off percentage was a little better.
My
than
face-off
Steve's.
percentage
I think Adam's face-off percentage can fuck off.
on Superstar was well over, or All-Star, whatever it is, well over 50%. Steve's like, let me try.
Let me take over this game.
And I don't think we won a face-off in the first period of the next game.
It's an overrated stat. Let's just talk about how it's an overrated
Puck
stat.
possession. I don't think puck possession
I don't think
matters.
we didn't do very well. But
No.
we had a lot of hits, though.
We did.
Yeah, did have a lot of hits.
We had a lot of playing behind our own net.
Yeah.
We had a lot of shitty zone entrances that didn't work. Getting stuffed with the blue line. No, fuck the both of you. You're the worst friends.
Steve,
All right.
we have a question from Mrs. Dangle.
This is it. This is the end.
Oh, by the way, to illustrate the NBA numbers, I had this up. Terrence Ross, it makes $3 million this year. Next year, when the new cap kicks in, he got an extension. He'll be making $9 million.
What?
And then $10 million. And then $11 million.
Those are some Bargnani numbers
So-
there.
Terrence Ross is going to make more than Jonathan Taves.
Yeah.
Yep. Because NBA salary.
Because
cap.
NBA.
Mrs. Dangle writes.
What happens when you create a sport that isn't run by completely old,
Crazy people.
crazy people? Anyway.
Ask Steve why he's such a bitch dog when he drives places.
Listen.
You
Well,
are
'cause
a very careful driver.
I'm a careful
You are
driver?
a very careful driver. Yeah.
See, that's not what she's
running
referring
at
to.
500.
Oh.
She's referring to me being angry behind the wheel.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's got such a hard life, guys.
She does.
Like driving all the way from Oshawa to Ajax.
That must be- that's-
sometimes even Pickering.
Is that, man, that's like 12 minutes.
Oh my God, it's just got to be so much time out of her day. You know? Which lane should she pick? The left one or the right one when she's going down Roslyn? Should she? There's so many choices
I can't-
to make and so many things to pay attention to.
I can't even come home for lunch today. This is a joke. I can't even come home for lunch
Can't
today.
even come home for lunch. You're right. What a terrible, devastatingly miserable life she leads.
There's like a domestic going on here, Steve, or Jesse, that Steve and Mrs. Dangle are going through that we're just being privy to.
Drive on the DVP on a weekday, honey.
Are
It's
you
a war zone.
Are you excited to be married one day?
It's going to be the best time. I'm sure.
You'll be yelling at each other about routes to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not being able to walk
she-
the dog.
She was, she was mad that I was a little perturbed that the gentleman in the lane next to me just decided to make up his own fucking lane and turn his SUV because, of course,
But
like
see-
it was the fucking Titanic and almost ram into me.
But Steve, when you're driving, you don't go from 0 to 100. You're like 0 to 500 the entire time.
Have I ever driven you? Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've driven you a bunch of
times,
times.
couple times.
Am I fast?
No, I mean just on edge
Yeah.
wise.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Damn, I've driven you so seldomly,
Yeah.
and you picked up on that.
Drives like your grandmother, yells like your grandfather.
Like I'm afraid if I had a pin and I poked you, you'd pop.
Wow. All right, how about we just leave it at that? Because I feel like we're getting to that point right now. Steve's being
I'm
very...
looking forward to getting in the car and driving home after this! It's gonna be amazing!
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.